Hi, I'm Tim Travis from Xbox Reviews and Verdicts, and today I'm reviewing Halo 4 from 343 Industries and Microsoft. Halo. What hasn't been said about it? It revolutionized shooters a decade ago, and we are still seeing its effect on the industry today. The Xbox probably wouldn't have taken off like it did without Halo, so to many, it was sad when developer Bungie announced they would be moving on. But does that mark the end of Halo? Of course not. Microsoft's own internal development studio, 343, will be handling the franchise for some time to come. Right now, the only Halo title they've shipped is a remastering of Combat Evolved. But are they ready to tackle a new Halo trilogy? So what's the verdict on Halo 4? Let's find out.
Seems like old times.
Ready to get back to work?
I thought you'd never ask.
After the Master Chief finished the fight and saved the galaxy in Halo 3, Spartan 117 has been in cryosleep aboard the UNSC Forward Unto Dawn, stranded in deep space. His 4-year beauty sleep is interrupted when Covenant board the adrift vessel. Making matters worse, the vessel is being pulled in by a Forerunner planet, Requiem. While the overarching story will involve exploring the Forerunner planet, meeting the series' first true antagonist, the Didact, and of course saving humanity. But the real meat of Halo 4's story is the Chief's relationship with his longtime AI partner Cortana. For one, it's really good to see Cortana back, as she was seen in only half of Halo 2's story and formally appeared again toward the end of Halo 3, which is great in and of itself as she has always been a dynamic character. But this is bittersweet, as Cortana is descending into rampancy, a state where AIs deteriorate after attaining too much information. She's dying and is beginning to corrupt, showing symptoms of anger and confusion. The Chief has to see her through this, and there are times where he has to do the thinking for an AI. It's an utterly interesting dichotomy, but it doesn't change the fact that you'll be shooting aliens in the face. Halo 4 also has the benefit of being the beginning of a new trilogy. You don't need to have prior knowledge of the series to understand the story here, which was a problem towards the end of the last trilogy. Though Bungie isn't taking the helm for this game, Halo 4 still plays like Halo. Guns, grenades, and melee are still your tools of destruction. There have been changes since Halo Reach. The health and shielding systems are more in line with Halo 3, there's no more reticle bloom with precision weapons, and there's significantly less lunge when using melee attacks, but armor abilities make a return. And keeping up with modern shooter conventions, there's now a sprint feature. The campaign experience of the original trilogy actually featured two opposing factions, the Covenant and the Flood, but reaction to the latter for some has been mixed. The Flood has been ousted in favor of the Didact's Prometheans. Like the Covenant, they are very dynamic adversaries. While there are fewer Promethean archetypes than the amount of species in the Covenant, fighting the Prometheans is a completely unique experience. The primary soldiers consist of the large and in-charge knights, boasting guns, swords, and are equipped with energy shields, but also have the ability to teleport in and out of combat. The crawlers are dog-like light infantry that also carry firearms. They can be taken out easily with a shot to the head, but can easily swarm you with sheer numbers. The final Promethean class are the Flying Watchers, which act as a support role. These guys are easy to take out with a few clean shots, but they can protect their allies with hard light shields and even resurrect fallen knights if you're not careful. The selection of bad guys in the Halo series has remained pretty similar for quite a while, so it's more than good to see 343 add the Prometheans to the mix, and they've gone a long way to give these guys a great art style and make them legitimately intimidating in your first few encounters with them. Similar to the enemies, the Halo series has remained pretty similar in terms of armaments. Each faction has their selection of automatic and semi-automatic rifles, explosives, sniper rifles, and so on. But 343 has gone all out in terms of guns and equipment. The amount of new toys to play with is truly staggering. The Prometheans are given Forerunner takes on the old standards. There's the precision light rifle, the suppressor which acts like a cross between an AR and an SMG. The bolt shot pistol comes with a tricky to use alt fire, while the incineration cannon and the new pulse grenade are also added. Not only do these look really cool, but some will literally disintegrate enemies, like the scatter shot or the binary rifle. It's one of the coolest effects I've seen in a game recently. While the Covenant armory remains similar to how it was in Reach, though the focus rifle has been replaced by Halo 2 and 3's beam rifle, and the plasma launcher has been ousted in favor of the fuel rod gun. But we've been given a few new UNSC weapons. For the first time, the battle rifle and the DMR appear alongside each other. As a BR fan, I'm very happy. We also have a saw, which I long thought wouldn't work in a Halo game, but I'm glad to have been wrong. It's a devastating and fun machine gun. The new railgun might be a bit tricky to use, but it's a good addition nonetheless. And a personal favorite, the sticky detonator, comes with a healthy blast radius, making it satisfying to use whether you're in campaign or online. Bottom line, Halo 4 has one of the best arsenals in its genre. The weapon sound effects are generally good. The AR and SAW sound badass, and the guys who did the sound effect for the suppressor need a raise. But the battle rifle could have had a more triumphant return if it had a beefier sound effect. The selection of vehicles will be familiar, though 343 somehow made the Warthog just a little bit more intuitive to control than before. But for the first time in a Halo game, we have a mech, the Mantis, and it's awesome. Online! Now if you want to head into some Halo multiplayer action, you should make sure you have 8 gigs of space available on your hard drive, as Halo 4 comes with a second disc to install all of the multiplayer content. But it's a small price to pay for the best competitive multiplayer on the Xbox. Halo 4 retains that classic heated, tactical, and balanced gameplay of the past, but at the same time making tons of changes to make the game more modern. The most obvious addition are loadouts, though there will be game types like Slayer Pro and Flood that do away with the customizable aspect of them. In every other playlist, you can bring in your own weapons, abilities, and upgrades. You can only bring in standard rifles, UNSC, Covenant, or otherwise. There are also a host of armor abilities, some returning, modified, and most of which are new. They are all supremely balanced, so if you hated armor lock in Reach, you can rest easy knowing it's been ousted, and the rest don't break the battlefield. Tactical packages and support upgrades work similarly to perks in Call of Duty, and they work very well, giving you small bonuses like faster reload speeds or extra ammo. Like in Call of Duty, creating loadouts is a game unto itself, and unlocking new stuff to outfit your Spartan, like equipment and armor, is very addictive. The modes on offer are very smart and fun. Bungie threw in everything in the kitchen sink when it came to multiplayer game types for Reach, but 343 smartly trims the fat and throws out things that didn't work, or replaces them with something better. In Infinity Slayer modes, you can call in ordnance after receiving a certain amount of points. Regicide is the best free-for-all mode in the series, where players earn extra points for killing the highest scoring player. And Dominion is a large team game type requiring players to hold bases, thus receiving points and additional weapons and vehicles. I don't know how 343 did this without a beta, but the balancing is impeccable. Even vehicles aren't overpowered, even if this does mean I can finish off a Scorpion tank with a few rounds from a battle rifle. The only complaint I have is the selection of maps available at launch. The 10 maps on rotation aren't quite as strong as the selection on offer in previous Halo games. I'd go ahead and buy the season pass for the War Games map packs to mitigate this problem in the future. But you can always create your own map in the returning Forge mode. In Halo Reach, players were given the Forge world, the largest Halo map ever created. But in Halo 4, we are given 3 smaller ones: Ravine, Impact, and Erosion, all with unique environments. Forge has been tweaked with the ability to lock objects in place and the new magnet feature, but there's a notable lack of the fine-tune feature. However, good community maps will look even better as objects now cast shadows, and a lot of care has been put into how each object and building block looks. Halo 3 and Reach both had a tradition of incorporating Forge maps into playlists, so we can expect 343 to do the same in this game. The theater mode also returns, allowing you to view previous games, though this time you can't view campaign footage. But it works as well as it always has. I thought the feature was magical when it was first introduced in Halo 3, and 5 years later, that has not changed. The biggest addition to the multiplayer side of things is a new cooperative mode called Spartan Ops. To make this clear, it replaces Reach's firefight mode. But I'd say this is as good, if not better. Spartan Ops is in essence a second campaign. You can play by yourself or with 3 others online, and takes place within seasons. Each week we are given access to 5 missions, along with a cutscene that tells the tale of Fireteam Majestic 6 months after the events of Chief's story. These missions are short, at just a few minutes each, but we've been told that in total, all of the missions combined will last around the length of Halo 3 ODST. As long as you have a gold account, you can play Spartan Ops. But all of these modes wouldn't matter if the gameplay wasn't good, and Halo has always had terrific gameplay. The original was way ahead of its time, and the series has been constantly refined. Some might say Halo 4 takes too many cues from modern shooters, like adding in sprint and loadouts, and loses its identity in some ways. I say combining the new with the existing formula makes Halo 4 the best playing, most balanced shooter I've ever played. In case you haven't noticed by now, Halo 4 looks amazing. Let's not forget this game is running on hardware that is 7 years old, and Halo 4 is a looker anyway. The only other game on the console that I've played that challenges this in terms of graphics is Rage. And even then, Halo 4 is still up there, and I'd say it beats out such technical marvels because of Halo's signature art direction. Even better, 343 can really teach Hollywood a thing or two with its CG cutscenes. The few that are in the campaign and Spartan Ops border on photorealistic. Now I want to give Halo 4 a perfect 10 out of 10. Badly. And my minor complaints like the amount of multiplayer maps on offer right now and some weapon sound effects wouldn't change that. But Halo has finally come to the modern shooter formula of putting the multiplayer before the campaign. I very much enjoyed the campaign, but if you had a strong connection to the original trilogy, you're likely to come out disappointed in many respects. The personal story between Chief and Cortana is stronger than ever, but the new characters aren't very consistent. There was only one time where I was truly impressed with them, and the rest of the time the dialogue is good and very well delivered, but nothing terribly memorable. It's also not explained why this faction of Covenant is hostile to you, only that a lot can happen in 4 years, and that's no explanation. That and the actual gameplay confrontations are rather generic. The level design just isn't terribly strong, and you get the sense that the enemy variety with the Prometheans could have been greater. There are occasional set-piece moments, but again, the encounters aren't that special, and I wasn't terribly impressed with the didact. Halo has also been known for amazing music, and I'm not gonna lie, new composer Neil Davich's work for Halo 4 is strong. But at the same time, 343 for whatever reason decided not to put it that high in the mix. If it's that great, and it is quite good, why not show it off a little? Something Bungie's Halo titles did so well. Is this campaign bad? Hell no. I simply don't think this campaign is as strong as some of my favorite Halo campaigns, or even my favorite shooter campaigns in general, which is too bad given how long I've been with this series. But at the same time, Halo 4 opens up numerous possibilities, as this is going to be part of a trilogy. The end of the campaign sets up what could be a much darker, more personal sequel, and the first episode of Spartan Ops shows off Sergeant Palmer, voiced by none other than FemShep herself, Jennifer Hale, as an edgy and cool character. And hopefully other new characters, Thomas Lasky and Captain Del Rio, will be explored in Spartan Ops as well. If so, the future will continue to look bright for this venerable series. Campaign gripes aside, 343 looks like they can be trusted with the monumental task of continuing the Halo series. Maybe it's nostalgia of the Halo single player of yore, or an industry focus on multiplayer, but the campaign isn't as special to me as I hoped, but it's still worth experiencing, and the game as a whole is a remarkable achievement. If you want the best and most addictive multiplayer package around, gameplay that nears perfection, a visual package that packs a punch, and an otherwise content-loaded piece of software, you've come to the right place. But if they want to make the perfect Halo title, 343 will have to capitalize on the opportunities found in this game. Overall, I am satisfied with the direction that was taken with the latest title from Microsoft's juggernaut. Thanks for watching this review. Please subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, follow the blog, and check out the Facebook page. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy my future videos.